Hello everybody, Fearmy Games for the next part of my Total War Rome 2 playthrough using the device at Impera mod. Welcome. If you guys remember last episode, we took, after taking our deep breath 2 episodes ago, getting our units or armies repaired, doing some building construction. We are now marching in. We've taken Amasia from Pontus, who dared make war on us and attack us. Right now we have our army just sitting here. We're rebuilding the army, trying to make it a more professional force, because our militias in the fighting to take Amasia after defeat both the garrison and an army got really brutalized. So instead of having to rely on a large number of militia, I'm starting to convert these militia armies into a bit more of a professional force to try and to keep up with the demands, because we're no longer facing weak Armenian troops. We are now facing actual threats, the kinds of the other Greeks are able to provide, and will probably face against the Romans. Armenians are all about their horsemen, and their infantry were very crappy. But, and that is not the case with the Greek faction, such as the Seleucids. They have infantry on par, if not better than ours. Here we see that Seleucids are almost within range to attack Armosata. They might be able to reach it, but I think they're just out of range. But I've also moved this army over here from Tushpa over here to try and intercept them. Unfortunately, they won't make it quite in time. Let's see, I might be able to recruit an army to assist, maybe. I hope maybe that might be what we need to do. Unfortunately, we won't be able to do everything full. I might have to do the Zanoi, which is really crappy because they're not very good. Let's see, do I want the levy help? The Threo spears. Let's do the Threo swordsman. Oh, they're actually more expensive than I gave credit for. We'll do two of these weaker troops. Hopefully that'll be enough. And we also have a rebellion in Trapezus. I'm not too worried about it, but I should be able to deal with it in time. One thing I'm hoping to do is, when I get the opportunity, is to try and make a third army to try and help with this. As our borders increase, as our borders get wider and wider in this war, our limited armies are going to start struggling more and more. So we kind of need to keep an eye on that. We have the Gods of War. Apparently, our general over here has some bonuses now, which will be good for us. I like the bonus tax rate. Let's do the reduced empire maintenance. It's never a bad thing. The bonus research rate is also going to be exceptionally useful. Let's see. Bonus wealth of culture. I have no problem with that. Bonus tax rate, public order and wealth. Beautiful, in my view. So we have one army here. I'm just checking to see where all of our armies are. This army is very weak compared to most of my other armies, but it's mostly here just to make sure if they're attacked. If Syrseta is attacked, so we have somebody there to defend it. Our main army here. Okay, I just want to be sure that I have all my armies properly tracked, because I was like, I'm not missing anything, am I? I'm like, no, I'm not. Okay. So we're going to have to end turn here, because there's nothing else we can really do. But that is basically the situation that we're in. The Seleucids so far have not been much of a threat. They've taken Phasma from us at the start, but that's because we'd given it up to try and replenish our army, and then we retook it once we were all ready and raring to go. I think we gave up Phasma and then took Kabbalah instead, which I think was definitely a good trade, because now we were able to retake Phasma, and the Seleucid army ended up running away like the cowards they are, because they are not as strong as us. They're too Persian. They're not Greek enough. And it looks like as we moved our army to intercept them, the Seleucids decided to fall back. Good for us, I guess I have to say. But we're going to have a problem if I can't recruit any Greeks. And we'll have to wait for slow cultural conversions, I think. I'll retreat that army, I think, back towards Tushpa, just in case. So I think it'll take a while before they can get there, so I should have good warning, especially with my spies plopped where they are. But it does look like they're congregating armies in Susa. most likely to come at us, but they do have a lot of enemies, so it could be moving around a lot. Yeah, if the Seleucids hadn't made war on me, I would not have actually gone after them. Accused in public. Son comes of age. We have sabotage. Okay, so household expands. Get some cunning. Spinster ant. More games. It's usually we have early spring. Unhappy populace in Lithuania, Pontus. No surprise there, really. See, I don't really want to leave Amasia just in case, to be honest. Although it has a decently strong garrison, all things considered. But they're probably still injured, so not really doesn't really mean too much. So I wanted to go this way with this army. How would it go? Okay, so I need to move this guy over here. So there is a Seleucid army. Oh, I was about to say a Seleucid army, but there's one Seleucid unit there. So I'm not much of an army. So I think I'm going to go over here and put down this rebellion with this army. And I'm going to just disband the mercenaries we recruited. Because they're more of a drain on our resources than we need. I recruited them in case, because I was expecting trouble. Thankfully, not much actually occurred. I'm definitely concerned about the food situation. Food is definitely going to be a problem, I think, in the next few turns. I have nothing that can really... I have no way to really add food immediately. Yeah, the nearest food thing's going to be a few turns away. An outraged populace. Where's this? Oh, Tushpa. Well, actually, technically this whole area here would fall under this thing. Recruit an agent. Apparently, I can recruit dignitaries. I don't really know what dignitaries are for, though. So okay. So these might be good things to get if they can increase the amount of Greeks I have here. That way we can get rid of this Armenian culture. So this army's ready to go. So we can attack Genzak now. Oh! Okay. I was not expecting that. Let's fall back to Fraspa. We'll get back to you. That was unexpected, to say the least. Well then, let's enter and see what happens. Let's stack Anzac. Surprise, two full stacks right there. Hopefully in Fraspa I should be able to hold. The garrison's probably not fully replenished at this point. But, any luck, there'll be enough of them that we can put up a decent defense. We'll need some pretty good defense because they'll have real pikemen, which will beat my hoplites in holding choke points. So, might be valuable to try and force an engagement out on the field. But they have bigger numbers than us, so really, because it's kind of a struggle. But yeah, they're attacking us with two scary-looking armies. Alright. Just quick save in case you crash. Yeah, the garrison's not going to help at all, unfortunately. It might have been a smarter idea to try and fall back to Armavir, but I don't want to give up for Espa. I really don't. Yeah, they have a pretty scary army. Team, this is going to be interesting. Let's see how this goes. I'm not too surprised the graphics memory is running low. There's a lot of enemies here. A lot of armies. Oh, well, I'll have to see how this goes. So the enemy is coming from this flank here. the catch points in the center here. While there is this fallback point, they don't need to actually take this spot, right? I think this is entirely just kind of here. While it'll be a really nice place to like fall back and try to hold, we have the problem of the fact that, you know, the defense, the capture point's over down here. A lot different. And they also have a lot of cav, which are at least as strong as my cav, if not stronger. They're very heavy, well mine are only, I think, heavy, right? Mine are only heavy. So we definitely need to try and play this very, very carefully. And try to limit the ways they come in. We want to try and hold it. This is a choke point probably. This is a choke point. Honestly, this is the best choke point if they attack down. I doubt that they will, but if they do, this would give me an opportunity if archers fire down at them. But I doubt they're going to do that. Just based on the position of all their troops. Probably going to go this way in. So I think the best thing, and thankfully they can't get us from behind here because of the fact that this is all raised terrain, which means if they want to get around us, they have to go all the way back here, up and around, and into a choke point that we can hold anyways. Okay, so we have to play this smart. So in the assumption that they're all coming down through this choke point here, I'm going to start putting down spike traps. I'm going to put down 2 sets of spike traps here, like where they're guaranteed to hit it, and then I'm going to set another one. So here's a real thing I could do. I wish if this hill wasn't here, I'd actually try holding here. But because of the way that it's kind of designed, it's honestly a really bad idea to hold anywhere outside of here because it's all downhill. Which meant which means unless I angle my troops properly, they'd all be fighting. Like part of them would be fighting at disadvantage, depending on how the troops are aligned. So I think I'm just gonna have to hold back here. And what I'm gonna do is I'm thinking of holding this part, having troops down here though. The reason why is it will allow my cav to potentially charge around and cause some havoc up here on the enemy here. So considering the cav is here, I'm gonna place these here to try and dissuade the enemy cav from actually coming down this way, but just in case I'll have a unit of hoplites holding there. As for these sharpstone spikes, I'm not sure what I'm going to do about them. We have enemy cav here, so just in case they decide to come down this way, I'm going to put these caltrops here to try to dissuade them from going down that route. And just in general, to dissuade anybody from coming down this route, I'm just going to put up a barricade. Oh, what I could do. I want to put a barricade there, but I don't think it's a good idea. So we're going to put a barricade here. So I don't really want to use this. I don't think I should leave this open just in case. Because it'll take too long to make use of anyway, so it's like, not worth it. I'm thinking of blocking off this route here, the barricade, just to slow the enemies down. So that way they have to go around here, or slow themselves down by going that way. So that's what I think I'm going to do. It's a thing where my own troops might have some problems because of it, but it might be for the best. And I'm going to put like a thing of like slowing stones here as well. Slow them down in any way possible. And I put another thing of spike traps down here. I would like to use the brimstone pits, but usually those are pretty unreliable, so I'm not going to bother with that. But here's where we have our problem. We have a large number of wounded troops who aren't going to be all that useful in the actual fighting. The enemy army is very similarly designed to ours, which means that we don't even have the design advantage in terms of like having a superior design. Like theirs is a bit messy in terms of exact composition, but still, it is still not wholly dissimilar to what we have here. I'm kind of thinking of trying to make a V here. Really depends on the hill, how the hill is designed, because I don't want to give up the hill advantage to the enemy if I can help it. But I also want to make it so like I get somewhat easier to get archers to kind of come in here and still form up a nice line. Make sure everybody is white. The big problem that's just gonna have to be is the enemy pikes right here. Those long spears are gonna be a big issue. And this baggage train basically means we're not more of a 19 than a full stat group of units here. I put my these rabble to kind of be a sacrificial lamb for us. And then when it comes to here, is I'm gonna take the remaining of these citizens. I'm gonna plop them here, and along with a free unit over here, just in case. And if they don't come down here, that will leave this flank as a potential flanking force into their troops. So it's kind of a win-win by having a decent amount of decent troops here. And I actually do want one over here, both kind of keep an eye on here, but also to be in position to try and go this way in case the enemy tries to do something there. Think of having this as thin a line as possible in case archers start firing at them. Alright, so that's this flank kind of covered, essentially. So we'll need our cav force to really make their mark here. Like, me being able to potentially outmaneuver the enemy troops is really going to be key. I'm gonna have these guys here just in case, because I can actually leave through this side no issues with because the way the spikes are designed, but they can't come in. So this might be if they completely ban this front, I could have another flanking force come around here to my advantage. Alright. So now this is where we'll have our reserves. I could try and like do a thing where I have more troops laid around. Or I could just try layering this defense. Either one's a viable option, if I'm being honest. I do need to be careful, though. I don't put them too close. So if I put them too close, then we'll have the issue of archers being able to hit both of them. No problem. So I think I'm going to do is kind of like an angle. Like another angle here. And what this does is that this creates my second line of defense here. And this one's actually slightly more ballooned out, which means archers I place here will be able to fire into this little group over here as well. Which does mean I need to make sure I save archers for near the end of the fight, or else I'll lose out on an advantage that I might have there. I'm gonna keep the baggage train just like right here. I'll think about where I put them. So just because I'm not expecting too much here, I'm gonna put the weakened archers here. Could I have my archers like positioned in the middle here to try and assist? Well, let's use half of our archers in the initial fighting, and then what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to have the other half be reserved, turn off their being reserved back here, to being then moved up once we get a little bit closer to the end of the fight. I think is what we're going to do. And this unit we're going to keep in the back. You can move here to help, here to help, here to help. Basically all around in position to be useful is kind of my thinking here. I think that's all that we're going to be able to do this battle.
If we are victorious and live, I will sacrifice to Zeus and Ares for their favor and help in our defense.
Okay.
But we mortals must do our parts and all will be well.
So yeah, as I expected, the enemy cav is going over there. So we're going to move this guy over here. I think my game is stuttering slightly, so we'll see how this goes. And they're gonna charge straight into my hoplites. Thankfully, they're gonna try into the spears and then into the hoplites, so I might not even need this reinforcements troop here. But I am always one to be careful if I need. Okay, this is good advantage for us though. A lot of them got into the spears, take a lot of damage, and then only then do they actually get onto my spearmen here. So. I was actually not expecting those guys to fire over here. That's interesting. Oh, apparently these guys have enough of an arc to get over there. I was not expecting that. Alright, so it looks like the enemy cav is actually choosing to try and charge over here. And they did lose some troops because they actually jumped onto my spike traps. Which, instead of their infantry, which is not the best for us, but it's not the end of the world either. So they were about to charge into our guys, but then they thought better of it. Over here, however, looks like we're doing okay. Oh, looks like the enemy reinforcements are on the way. I did not think about that when I planned out my troop deployment. I'm really glad I put this extra unit back here just in case, because, oh my gosh. This thing is going to have to hold out against a lot bigger force than I gave credit for, which actually means I think I'll need to reposition this troop over here to fire up and over when the time comes. The rabble is getting abused, but they're kind of designed to slow down people and try to reduce the amount of damage my main troops take. Unfortunately, my hoplites are getting quite abused by arrow fire right now. This might help a little bit, but it will come with its own problems too. So we'll see how well that helps. What is nice, however, is they did waste their charge on those rabble, which means that they're not going to be as strong. Oh, it looks like the enemy elephants have been engaged. That's the real threat going on right here. If our main army falls, there will be a big problem. That'd be a really big problem. I didn't fall back to a more defensible location after all. This is not an easy to replace army. We need to start getting the cav out, force out now. As long as they go down that road and don't do anything foolish, we should be okay. So those elephants are almost dead now. I've really made sure to focus fire them down, and I think it's actually ended up going in our favor. They're not out of control. Unfortunately, not out of control in the way that I would like. But not everything goes as planned. Alright, now these caltrops will be our own little problem there, but I'm not too worried about it. We just need to get our horses in position to try and deal with this. On the bright side, the more these guys get invested into the fighting, the more... I didn't consider that. They have a lot of troops. I can't zoom in or else I start having stuttering issues. Yeah, this fight got a lot more important than I invested stuff into. Okay. Whew. Need to find a way to shrink down this line. They're still investing troops, so I can't quite engage my cav yet or without risking their lives. But I think I start pushing these guys forward, however. We just need is this side to hold out as long until the other side wins. Essentially, is kind of what we need to do, or at least not die quickly. That's at least, you know, step one. We're getting a little bit of stuttering because I hope our encoder is able to keep up with everything, but I don't see any stuttering issues yet. So I have started to engage our hoplites up into the fight here. Actually, this guy shouldn't be in the line like he is. I kind of forgot that I got that. Alright, looks like the enemy has actually started charging into our troops, which is fine with me. They're braced and ready to go. The archers here are actually charging beyond the caltrops, which is their mistake. That's where we have one free archer killed. Yeah, they're the ones retreating right now, but we're starting to, our lines are starting to waver up front. This unit's been pretty abused, I guess, because of its positioning. It makes it a little bit easier to focus fire. That one broke. Perfectly fine with me. Alright, so now we can keep going around.
We await your command. Ready. As you order. By your command. By your command. Citizen Hoplites. Ready. Yes, commander. Your orders. Light infantry at your command. Orders.
Our front line is starting to collapse now.
Pikes at the ready. Advance at speed.
Feels because the enemy pikes are strong, are super strong. My backup line of hoplites is actually getting got obliterated by archers. Holy crap! I was not expecting it to be this bad. This unit went from like my only hope to hold the line to, dear God, these guys are useless now. Alright, this is where we need to start engaging these archers now. What's going on over here? This cav is doing their best.
Citizen cavalry, by your command. Citizen cavalry, hoplites ready. Hack them down. Battle group disbanded. Heavy cavalry ready and willing.
Alright, come on.
By your command.
Alright, what's going on over here?
The brave ready for orders.
Why are these guys running like I ordered them to? Maybe I selected the wrong troop. That's actually a possibility.
Right, advance at speed.
Focus fire on that unit. That unit's turned. That has their back to us. One of their dangerous units has their back to us. That's perfect. It's just got locked in way harder than it should be. I think it's getting kind of obliterated right now. Alright, the units are starting to fold here. Yeah, I think this battle is probably going to be lost in the end, but we're going to take down a decent chunk of them. I selected the wrong unit apparently, but it's fine. It's fine. Alright. Oh, that unit of archers came back? Dang it. That's a problem. This flanking force is being held up quite well by the enemy. What's going on here? Is there any way to get around their spears though? Because my guys are getting slowly squeezed by the enemy here. Oh wait, there's still one guy alive here. Actually, never mind. Alright, my cav is beating up this guy, which is super important right now. Keep in mind. Oh. What's the situation here? So this guy's actually got himself flanked, which is really important to keep in mind. These guys here are meanwhile holding just fine. These guys are actually better, stronger, heavy cav phalanxes than I do. So that is probably one reason why my units are struggling quite a lot. Oh, we just lost this flank too. We'll get a nice charge up, then we have to immediately run away. The enemy general's breaking. This guy's doing a good job of holding. I need to fall him back. Well, the line of archers must hold now. Along with the baggage train, just to hold off the enemy tide. The benefit is while we lost this flank, we actually won our main flank. That's the important thing. If we can win this, free up this section of the fight, we'll actually be in position to win the bat. We might be able to pull out a win here after all. Bright says they're not investing a crazy amount into this fight. I'm gonna get them out of phalanx to just engage them as best I can here. It's wavering. Okay, come on. Come on, we gotta hold.
Citizen cavalry! Citizen cavalry! Withdraw! Hoplites, ready! Citizen cavalry! Ready for orders! Commander! As you command! Orders! Citizen cavalry! Ready for orders! Understood! Citizen cavalry! General! Understood! Citizen cavalry! Commander!
Alright, come on. Hold, men, hold! What can men do against such reckless hate? Jesus.
Citizen Hoplites! Hoplites, ready! Citizen cavalry! Ready to march! General! Citizen cavalry!
I'm just throwing in my archers and everything just to try and hold back the enemy tide just long enough for me to win this battle.
Ready and waiting! Orders! Advance at speed!
Holy crack, cow, we're winning? We're winning this fight. Come on! We can do it! Team! We must re-engage the troops. This side is actually relatively healthy in terms of, they're relatively healthy in terms of numbers, which means this is our chance to win is basically in the remnants of our army over here. It's gonna be a tough battle, but we might be able to do something. The baggage train has done their job. They've held the enemy, and we're slowly pulling off enemy troops over here, too.
Hoplites, ready! Advance at speed!
Fall back our remaining archers. Every bit of ammunition is precious.
Pikemen, ready for orders! As you command!
We defeated one army. When we defeat another army is basically the question that will determine the fate of the world of this battle.
Hoplites! At battle! Ready! By your command! Double time! Citizen Hoplites! Double time!
Okay, come on, troops.
Hoplites, ready!
All of the holding forces we have been used up. This is what, when they get engaged, this is going to be our opportunity to try and wreak havoc on the enemy.
Citizen cavalry!
We're going to let our general and our cav kind of rest, because we're going to need them to be rested. The enemy is not leaving behind troops to kind of hold the line. So while these archers throw away their lives to buy our hoplites time, get into position.
Pikes ready! Advance at speed! Citizen cavalry!
All back. They're ready for you.
Shield cavalry ready! Capital glory waiting!
We need them to flood in here as much as they can. For glory!
By your command! Back, warriors, back!
That was a good rear charge there.
Hoplites! We await your command! Orders! Break the line!
Alright, it looks like they're gunning straight for the capture point, which is good for us. Which is actually good for us. I think I'm gonna run one of these troops around here. I have an idea. Maybe the other one too. Maybe one more. They are turning around. Perfect. The more they can engage on the enemy and not on us, the better. But I'm also trying to delay them too. Anytime bot is time we need. Now let's follow these guys back. Now we don't have an advantage based on our positioning, but it's not the end of the world. But one thing is nice about this is that their flank is now wide open for my cav to try and charge them on this flank. I could probably get a good charge off on these guys based on their positioning. Let's slowly move up the cav here. Come on. Our one remaining advantage now is our cav, so if we can't use this, if we're not able to leverage these guys to our advantage, we are in deep shit. Well, these guys are on phalanx. That's bad, actually, because the enemy's probably in phalanx. They're getting caught on like some of these stragglers actually, which is causing some problems. Oh no, pikes. I clicked the wrong unit. Fudge. Oh no, oh no, 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 no. That unit's gonna break. Oh, you broke one unit. Let's try and do some separation games here. That one's gonna break. I need to pull these guys out. General, I need you to do this for me. These guys have their flanks open for the right for the taking. Come on, General, you can do it. This guy breaks, that'll be super good for us because they're the ones flanking these guys, causing problems. But it's really good for us that these guys are not engaged in the melee. Basically making it so the enemy is far less likely to win. Come on, General. I think the enemy general's dead. So this is giving us at least a nice morale bonus here. Come on. I need these guys to break. Break before my guys start having more problems. Break. One broken unit there. Keep them broken. Keep them broken. Keep them broken. Come on. My general's now exhausted, but we broke one of their units now. Alright, that unit's broken. Perfect! Which now we can use these units to start these cav. That was one of our unit. That was one of our flanking, quote, flanking units. Oh, what? Well, no! Guys, stay in melee! No! Don't break because of some stupid... No! They weren't supposed to be routing. Fudge. Oh, no. This is bad. That might lead to, like, a mass rout situation. Oh, this battle is so close. Dang! Oh, we had units who routed and now came back. Dang. This battle is lost. We almost took down 2 full stacks. Definitely if I fell back to Armavir, we would have won the battle, I admit. I'll be the first one to admit that. Dang. This is definitely a grievous loss for us, though. Losing our best army. I think this is our action leader, or at least one of our very high ranking general. It's gonna take a while before we can replace this army. Die for the cause. Blood for the blood god. Alright, let's speed this up. Fortunately, this you guy fell. My hoplites fell at the key moment. Broke at the key moment. We killed. Oh, so many of them. Cav did so much heavy lifting in that battle, but it was for naught. As our mighty army, our strongest army, has fallen against the combined might of the Seleucids. They lost a lot of troops, but I think I might have lost more comparatively. Even though they lost almost like over a full army and like at least half of a second one, they came out better. I would say, because they have a bigger arm, they have a bigger force. They're a lot bigger than me. The bright side is they cannot push their advance. So this army did the job of stopping of Seleucids from advancing any further at the cost of their lives. A tragic loss of lives and men that shall not easily be replaced. What we need to do. The big problem is I don't know how far away the next army is going to be in terms of physical distance. I can't make a real army. A noble death indeed. Let's watch the systematic. It's worthwhile. In this one, I would say. A noble death indeed. A true leader of men died today, team. A true leader of men. Died trying to hold an insignificant piece of land in the grand scheme of things. But pride cost him his life. Now the two armies looks like they've become one army. Like merged, essentially. I don't know if I get the money back that I invest into Frasp or not. Alright, well, we'll have to do our best to make an army. We don't have enough Greeks in Armavir to make a Greek army. Which is why that's army over there. Honorable death. Scythia, which means I can't move the army from there. A fat Pergamon joins the war against us. Total war indeed. Coron, I'm not worried about. Tushpa, I'm actually a little bit worried about. Because Tushpa actually has lower garrison than Armavir does. So it's like, oof, might be a problem. His army just needs to put down this rebellion ASAP. Just a bunch of rabble. We'll kill them. If they don't want to live under our rule, they can die.
We hunger for at once.
And we need to rush this army over to Armavir as fast as we can. Michetta, I think, is going to be the best place where we can raise a new army. So this guy is a better commander, it would look like. Let's reinstate the legacy that is the Ares Dread. Tough shoes to fill, good sir. Tough shoes to fill. Georgian median infantry. High trained. So good. Basically, these are good flanking units, but I want to use them against Greeks. But not bad units, though. But if I'm being honest, they might actually be the best units I got. Sad to say. But I can still make some Bosporan troops here. Unfortunately, the Bosporan units will... There's actually less Zanoi here than I would expect. But also less Greeks here than I expect. There's a lot of Lao. Like, a lot of low-level Greeks, but not a lot of, the Greeks that make the nice high-level units I want. What they want to do is we're going to have to focus on infantry, I guess. Use as much of the Katakoi for the Ares Dread. And then, I guess we're going to have to do... Let's see. Then we're going to want some skirmish array archers, naturally. All of which are going to be Zenoi. Unless we want to make Bosporan troops. We'll see. We might get enough for another unit of next turn of Laoi here. We'll see. Let's make one of Cav here. So I assume you're better than the Georgians, right? Can I pin this? Yeah, they have good damage, but let's see, so what's the difference? So, I mean, these guys are low always, so I have plenty of them. So these guys have far better melee attack, better melee AP damage bonus. So these guys are much better, and these guys are, even the Georgians are actually better. So these guys are not a bad unit to try and fill up the ranks. It'll take a few turns though, but this will be an army, I think. They'll be forced to be reckoned with, I think. Well, this weak army over here is just gonna have to deal with what they got. But that's just probably all we have for today. I'm gonna do the end turn thing while I do my ending spiel. I would like to wish all of you guys a good day, night, evening, wherever you may be. And if you are on YouTube, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. It helps the algorithm rumble. Feel free to hit that subscribe button as well, and hit that rumble button. If you guys comment, I actually find out that I do get email notifications apparently about messages, so I'm able to check them out when you guys post them. So that's what I'll basically be doing. Sorry. So that's what I'll do. Like if I see a comment there, I'll try to reply. Those of you on BitChute, thank you guys for watching. Let you guys know exactly what you need to do. Take care, everybody.